Ever since playing The Last of Us Part 2, I've wanted to replay the original in order to bring me back to the good old days with Joel.
Well, if you stop moving so much, sir. Thank you.
I had forgotten how nice it was to have Ellie around during the entirety of gameplay, instead of being Ellie and going solo most of the time. I also wanted to refresh myself on Part 1 so I could officially decide which game I liked better.
Don't worry, this isn't a video about the pros and cons of each game, even though we could go into depth about this.
See, that's what I don't like about this one. You can't dodge or anything.
But instead, we're just going to reminisce on the days of old when you get to play as Joel and have a little girl as your partner that maybe weirdly reminds us a little too much of Michael Myers.
The Last of Us Part 1 is quite the emotional train ride that does not waste any time getting you in your feels. The very first scene depicts you, Joel, with your daughter, Sarah, and creates instant emotional ties to the characters.
What's this? Your birthday.
Joel seemingly has a great relationship with his daughter, despite him never being around.
I feel like saying you're never around is not something that you should put into a card. You're never around, Dad.
Where is he?
Don't you ask that question a lot?
So when this happens, you truly feel gutted.
You never really expect children to die in movies or video games, but I suppose it had to happen in order for Joel to get the character arc needed to make this game so amazing. Sorry, Sarah.
Fast forward 20 years and you find yourself in a quarantine zone in Boston, ruled strictly by the military, and working as a smuggler with your friend? Girlfriend? I don't know. Whoever Tess is. Doesn't matter. It won't come up again.
You agree to smuggle Ellie out of the city in order to deliver her to the Fireflies, a militia group that revolted against the military dictatorship within quarantine zones. You only later find out that Ellie was bitten and infected, didn't turn, and is, just the answer to saving mankind? That's not too much responsibility, right, Joel?
Ellie is believed to be of use to the Fireflies, as they think they may be able to use her immunity in order to create a vaccine for CBI, the fungal infection that has destroyed the world.
Now that's a lot of damage!
There's no doubt that the plot of this game is unmatched. I'm looking at you, Part 2. But if you're not one for violence, gore, depressing backstories with a hint of despair, or sneaking around, or at least trying to.
Alright, anything in here? No? Okay.
Then you may want to try Super Mario Sunshine instead.
But it isn't all bad. At the start of the game, you see Joel has closed himself off, and anytime Ellie asks him something a little too personal, he reacts like this.
That's enough.
Right.
Throughout the game, though, you get to watch as he slowly softens towards Ellie, and even allows himself to care about her, despite the fact that he lost his own daughter years before, and still seems to be trying to run from it. In the end, they become closer than Joel ever imagined. If you know, you know.
The game may be gloomy most of the time, but every once in a while, the darkness gives way to the beauty of nature. And then it goes right back to being dark. But we try to lighten it up a bit.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round.
I have to say, Joel plays the most intense game of punchies I've ever seen. Although Jess had a really bad habit of missing most of the time.
Crap. Dang it.
Not like that.
Nope.
Nice punch.
Thanks.
And her shots weren't much better.
Oh shoot, oh shoot. Let me at him. Let me at him. Oh, dang it.
And that's why I just sat in the back and let the other characters in the game do my work for me every opportunity I could.
So you run away?
Yeah. Bill's got it. It's okay.
Watching Jess play this game made me realize that even at a time like this, when the world is in shambles and everything is dilapidated, my wife will still be concerned about the layout of a house.
Oh my gosh, I would hate to live in a place like this. The kitchen is completely cut off from everything else.
That's what you're thinking of?
Yes.
Let's say you move the fridge to the other side, you knock down that wall, and you have basically like an L island type thing there instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it opens up the room, but you still have to walk the same amount.
Okay, if you have guests over, right, and they're in the living room, you can't, like, talk to them. Like, you're cooking dinner here, right? And you have to be like, hey, what kind of cheese do you want in your hamburger? And then you gotta, like, come back over here.
Well, it wouldn't be a hamburger if you're putting cheese on it.
You know what I mean? Turning this into a HGTV series.
Yeah, like Chip and Dale.
Playing this game made me feel like Spider-Man, Robin Hood, and Chris Kyle all in one, which I have to say is a pretty cool combination. I mean, how does it get much better than that?
And on top of the amazing gameplay, the other characters keep you entertained.
That was a bad shot.
Yeah, I know.
You just killed him
I
and
killed- she jumped on a dead man. Tommy's just walking around like he does
he's
not
fine.
care.
I really don't have many complaints about this game, but the one true thing that annoyed the heck out of me was the fact that Ellie couldn't swim. So anytime there was a body of water, I'd have to go out of my way to find a pallet for her and get her to the other side, and she would just be sitting there waiting for me like,
I can't swim. Hey, that's what we can do once we're done.
What's that?
You can teach me how to swim.
good idea, since you probably don't want to survive an apocalypse just to end up dying because you don't know how to kick your legs in water.
After Ellie almost drowns, you finally end up meeting the Fireflies, and it's Marlene, the woman who recruited you to smuggle Ellie out of the city, who tells you that using her immunity to create a vaccine will kill her.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
And Joel turns into John Wick.
After Joel moves through the entire hospital, killing anyone standing in his way, he pulls Ellie out of there while she's still knocked out and takes her home, never telling her what actually happened with the Fireflies.
They've stopped looking for a cure.
This game was amazing when it came out in 2013, and it's amazing now. It's one of the most realistic post-apocalyptic games out there, and replaying it made Jess remember why it's one of her favorites. Standing ovation, Naughty Dog.
And I will leave you all with this final thought. Part 1 had a better storyline and characters, but when it comes down to pure gameplay, I prefer playing Part 2. Mainly because they added a dodging mechanic and I don't get punched in the face so much. Thanks for watching.
You see that guy peeking his head out?
Yeah, I do.
You're shooting the
I know,
wall.
I see it now. I see it now.
You're.
I still see it. I see it now. I'm gonna get him. Don't worry.
You're not even close.
Wait, that one was honestly an accident. My finger slipped.